What's up, sports fans? It's your man D back, Speak Your Mind Sports Talk. All right, check it out, man. We talking Manny Pacquiao, Canelo Alvarez. Should Manny Pacquiao beat Errol the True Spence? Does that put him at pound for pound number one? You know, that's the question today. Does that put Manny at pound for pound number one? Should he beat Errol Spence? Does that bring him over top of Canelo Alvarez? Because there's a few articles going out, there's a few videos out there, I guess this is the conversation now, at least one of them. I also want to talk about this morning, want to give the final thoughts and predictions on this huge fight with Brian Castano, Jermell Charlo. We got another 4-belt undisputed match coming. My bad. All right. Quick mishap. My bad. This is what happened. Technology. Still getting used to it. All right. Anyway, so back in action. So yeah, man, these notifications, bro. Let me make sure we're on live. For some reason, man, they won't not sitting out. My lives, man. I can't even tell half the time if I'm on live or not. Let's see. Yeah, we live. All right. So all right, boom. So anyhow, back to it, man. Yeah, bro. Manny Pacquiao. Okay, so here's the thing. Pound for pound list. Let's take the love for Manny Pacquiao that we got out of this, because I think this whole assessment on this fight, whether it be the Spence situation or this comparison with Canelo Alvarez and Errol Spence future fight, so to speak, the comparison with Manny Pacquiao. It's all about, if Manny can beat Spence. A lot of people got the love for Manny in there. But when we look at a pound for pound guy, let's forget about Manny's entire career, because if it's about anybody's entire career, and we basing that pound for pound, I think Manny wins against anybody, hands down. But when I look at a pound for pound fighter, man, I don't go back until they started boxing. I mean, I go back usually 3 years. If it's full activity, we were down for a year for COVID-19. We sort of lost a full year of boxing. So, here recently, I might look back 4 years, but 3 or 4 years, bro, like 3 years max is really how I look at what have they been doing for the past 3 years. And that's when I rank or rate my pound for pound guys. I can't go on entire career. Entire career, Manny wins. He beats everybody in the game. But I believe when people start having this pound for pound talk, they kind of ignore the things that Manny's been doing recently. I mean, you got Broner and Thurman in about a 3-year span, bro. Let's be honest, bro. Even if he beat Spence, that'd be 3 fighters in 3.5 years. I don't think that warrants putting him over Canelo Alvarez. Just me personally, I don't think that warrants putting him over a lot of other guys that's deserving to be up there on the pound for pound list. Merely with a win over Spence. I mean, people may want to adore him. He's old, this, that, and the third. But he is a legitimate, and has been for a while, 147-pound fighter. And if you know, by the way I assess this thing, if we assess him like I've assessed every other fighter in boxing, and you look at what he's done for us in the past 3 years, hell no, I can't put him number one pound for pound. I can't personally. Dan Game in the building. What's good with you, brother? Salute to you, Mark Unrivaled. What's good, Mark? And so that's the whole thing. Mark, you up this morning? Shit, you guys first in. Dan Game was just on with me yesterday. Mark, I dropped that link for you if you want to join me this morning. If not, we'll wait for some people to come in. My notifications are post Mateo live notifications. They ain't going out, bro. I got to get them back in there, Mark. You know what I'm saying? Post Mateo live. The notifications are like, I don't know what's going on with YouTube, really, bro. Like, I don't know. I guess I'm just toilet water. I'm all the way out the algorithm. Nobody even knows when I go live, it seems like. Hell, it used to be like 10, 15 people waiting and shit sometimes. Now, nothing. Anyhow, moving on. I've been here before. So, you know, back to it with Manny Pacquiao beating Errol Spence. You have a win over Spence. So that'll give him 2 belts because it's not going to be a unification now. WBA is not going to give Manny his belt back, which, you know, when that first started being talked about, you know, Manny getting the belt back, making it, I was like, no way they'll do that, bro. First off, it's not fair to Ugas, Jermell James, you know, all of these guys who have been elevated, because then they would have to kick them back down. They didn't just elevate Ugas. They elevated Jermell James as well. You know, you give Manny his back. Now you got to take that back from all of them. Also, the whole situation with Manny's he's old. The WBA is a business, man. They got to make money. So they're looking at fighters of now and fighters of the future who they can make more money off of. What Manny going to do after Spence, should he win? I mean, they're flirting, talking about a Crawford fight, which would be massive, win, lose, or draw Manny a dog. If he could beat Spence and then go fight Crawford, that would be phenomenal. However, that would be it. That would be it. It would be over with. And so the the WBA wouldn't be able to make any more money after that. Not, you know, off of a marquee fighter. Now, if they leave it over there with Ugas, even if Manny does win this, same scenario applies with Manny, but the WBA continues to make money on schedule, and a marquee fighter will be available or shooting to take that belt from your Dennis Ugas. It goes vacant after Manny Pacquiao retires if he wins the belt. So I don't think, and then again, all of the moves they made after they stripped him of the belt, they elevated. So to retrack on all of that just so that they can make this fight 3 belts for Errol Spence never made any sense to me. Never made any sense to me. Butcher's Bucket, good day, fine sir. Good day to you, Butcher's Bucket. Appreciate you, Saka in the building. He said, hello. What if Tank went up and fought Jermell James for his record? Man, Jermell James, Tank not out. You know, that's funny, Saka. I don't think that Jermell gets through that, though, bro. I mean, Tank gets through that. Jermell James is way too tall. And he can box. And he can use his length. Tank, I can't. Can Tank even reach his face? It'd be like, remember little Mike Tyson, the Mike Tyson punch out? Remember the little Mike fighting all of these big dudes? Not Mike Tyson, but the guy who, Joe or whatever his name was, he's sitting down there swinging up. That's Tank trying to fight Jermell James. He's just swinging up for the fences, man. I think Jermell James is like 5'11" or something. He's tall, bro. Might be over 6 feet. Like Jamal James hits harder than Barrios. He boxes better than Barrios, and he's way tougher than Jamal James is tough, bro. And he's taking punches from 147 pounders. All right, so sure, you know what I would like to see though, Soccer. And then I'm gonna move back to the Canelo Alvarez thing. But I would really like to see Keith Thurman fight Jamal James. Or your Dennis Ugas, Jerron in his boots, Virgil Ortiz. I would like to see one of those guys fight Jamal James. Tank Davis, I think he gets beat up. That would be funny. That would be funny, Soccer. I can't lie. If Floyd that did it all. But if Tank was to go fight Jamal James, I would be leery. I'd be like, what the hell does Floyd know? Because Floyd ain't going to put that boy in no fight unless he's pretty sure he's going to win. But anyway, back to it. Iceman in the building. What's good with you, brother? PSK, what's up with you? All right, guys. I'm going to do this one more time. I don't think Mark took me up on my offer. Who we got? PSK. You ain't been up here, PSK. I will invite you. First come, first serve. PSK, Mark. Y'all that you invited for this morning live. First come, first serve. Because there can only be one. Anyway, back at it, man. So Manny Pacquiao, back what I was saying is he would only have Adrian Broner, Keith Thurman, and Errol Spence, but that's like in a 3.5 year span. That's on some Gary Russell type shit, right? And no, I'm not comparing Manny Pacquiao to Gary Russell, but I'm saying if we're looking at this whole situation, we're looking at this whole pound for pound situation in the grand scheme of things. What has he done for us lately? Not his whole career. If we're going to go pound for pound and then we start rating fighters and it's their whole entire career, Manny wins, hands down. I don't think anybody beats Manny when it comes to that. However, if we're going by what have you done recently, then bro, no way he should overpass Canelo just with a win over Spence. If I'm not mistaken, Adrian Broner won't no damn champion. You know, Keith Thurman was a champion. He did beat him. Okay, and then he'll beat Spence. But Canelo's been beating champion after champion after champion after champion. Not to mention, in this year alone, he would have fought more times than Manny has in 3.5 years, fam. And Canelo Alvarez is going for 4 belt undisputed. You can't put Manny Pacquiao over him with a win over Spence. To me, come on. We love Manny. I love Manny. But you win over Spence. Okay, I get it. It's a huge win. But the dude would have fought 3 times in 3.5 years, bro. Canelo fighting 4 times in 1 year? I mean, we love Manny, but what if that was any other boxer that did that? Okay, they beat Errol Spence, and then they had a fight with Thurman, which they won the belt, over a year ago, and then they had Broner, and in 3.5 years, they have Broner a win over Thurman and Spence in 3.5 years. And then you look at what Canelo's done in 3.5 years. If it's any other boxer not named Manny Pacquiao that does that, do they go pound for pound number 1? No. No boxer in the sport would do that. No boxer in the sport could fight once a year, and be pound for pound number 1. The only reason they're saying Manny is because of what he's done in the past. So me personally, I couldn't put Manny over Canelo for that feat, for beating Spence. Would it be spectacular? Yes. But would I move him into the top 5? Sure, I would contemplate that. And still contemplate it. But I wouldn't put him over Canelo. I wouldn't put him over Canelo. Let me see. Spence, look, 3 weight classes above Pacquiao. Yes and no. He was kind of taller, and we know Spence is bigger, but you look at Manny Pacquiao's neck, his freaking calf muscles, he's a little stout. So Spence did look bigger than him. Manny is not as top heavy as a lot of fighters, but Who don't look bigger than Manny Pacquiao? Keith looked bigger than Manny Pacquiao. I mean, everybody looks bigger than Manny Pacquiao because he's a small guy, but he packs a wallop. He knows how to use his advantages, you know. So Manny's an enigma, bro. He's a phenomenon. So doesn't really matter his size. But yeah, Spence has definitely got the dimensions, the size, the reach. You know, it's gonna be a great fight. Bull Mac got a sour taste in his mouth about Virgil. He praying Mean Machine beat. I bet you, but he could keep praying. He could keep praying because Bull Mac made a big fuss about who Mean Machine was. And I kind of agree that Mean Machine was, you know, is a good fighter. And he was saying that for Crawford's credit. So he has to continue with that, right? And if Mean Machine beats Virgil Ortiz, it shows that Virgil was not ready for Bud Crawford. If Virgil goes in there and demolishes Mean Machine, especially in more impressive fashion than Crawford did, then it doesn't make what Bo Mac was saying look too good. So of course he wants him to go in there and beat him, but I don't think that's happening. I think Egidius Kapialaskis is going to lose to Virgil Ortiz is what I think. And I think he'll get stopped. I think Virgil will stop him in like 9. About 9. PSK said, listening at work, bro. Thanks for the invite, chat. No doubt. It's I only want to have one guy on the panel. So Black and Brown boxing in the building. Was good, Black and Brown. I know everybody at work this is the morning time, but you, sir, are invited on if you got some time. I don't stay on long, Black and Brown. I only do a short live in the morning. So I'm only having one person on the panel. If you'd like to join me, sir, that invitation goes out to you. Good morning to you, Black and Brown. Miami Kid in the building. He said, Floyd and that'll be our clowns. There clearly is an agenda. They're looking at fight JoJo Diaz when Devin Haney is sitting right here in front. Well, I mean, yeah, we talked about that Miami Kid. Devin Haney, Shakur Stevenson, Oscar Valdez, Jermell Herring, Ryan Garcia, Lomachenko. Take your pick. All of them better fight than JoJo Diaz. But Floyd knows what he's doing. JoJo's a name. He just beat Javier Fortuna. So Tank gets credit for that win. Might not be a fight that we want to see. Right, we want to see Tank fight the best, but we cannot say he doesn't get credit for beating the JoJo Diaz. Floyd knows that, so keep it going. But yeah, JD in the building. Was good. Manny in my top 10 pound for pound. I don't mind that. Where you have in place would be interesting. Where do you have in place? That game? I don't mind Manny being there. I just don't feel like he could be number 1. GB Guthrie in the building. Salute to you, bro. Spence looked aged. When? Spence is 30 now, so he's no spring chicken, but look aged how? In the face? Excuse me, I had to spit. How do you mean he aged up? First come, first serve. Mark on Rival is in the building. So too bad for the rest of you. No, I'm just playing. What's up, Mark?
Yo, what's up?
What's up, brother? So, Mark, let's get Mark's idea. What do you think, man? And I know you have yours is criteria based, so I'm doubting that he goes pound for pound number 1 with a Spence win. But let's get it from you. I'm just speculating. Does Manny Pacquiao on your pound for pound list go number 1 with a win over Spence?
Let me do the math.
He said, let you do the math?
Yeah, I'm doing it right now.
I love Mark, bro.
Because technically the only reason he's not on my pound for pound list right now due to inactivity, but with a comeback win, the fact that he hasn't lost since Thurman, that'd be back to back. It'd be a unified title. Hold on. Yeah, he'd probably go to number 1 on my list here.
Oh yeah. See with Mark's list, I'm cool with it, guys, because I'm gonna tell you something. remember I was saying earlier, criteria is involved too. If you have the correct criteria, understandable. Well, with Mark's criteria, he's laid it out for me over the phone, and it's beautiful. I have zero arguments because I know how Mark constructs his pound for pound list. Now, on my pound for pound list, it couldn't be possible. Just because of, I have criteria set in there that it could not be possible. The activity, activity you talked about, Mark, because I go 3 years back. I tell you that before, right? And he can't do it. He can't pass him. Will he be bumped up? Yes. But can he pass him? No. On Mark's criteria, yeah, I can get along with that.
Can he pass Canelo? Is that who you're asking about?
Yeah.
On mine, in yours.
Yeah, because of how far back I go. Canelo's done too much compared to what Pacquiao has done.
You do 3 years, right?
Right. I only do 3 years back, so he's done way too much to pass him on my list.
He has way more fights in that time.
Right, he got more fights. He'll end up with more fights this year than Manny in the past 3.5 years, fam. Just this year and shit. And 3 of them will be champions. Like, come on, bro. Me personally, I can't put him over him, but I understand the numerical value for like how you give points for the accomplishments, the level of competition, and so forth. And you've broken all of that down. So it makes sense. It does make sense. But everybody is not fuck everybody. Probably 95% of the people I know, and forget about all of these mainstream pound for pound lists, they're not as detailed or have as intricate criteria as Mark does. And then when you apply numbers to it, Mark did this beautiful pound for pound thing that a bunch of channels was involved to, but we did it strictly on numbers, and it still worked out beautiful. So when you apply mathematics to it, and Mark has that, and then other criteria, I don't know anybody's pound for pound list that can be constructed better than his. I know some that are constructed very well, and they could be constructed as well. Like Julius also has a Ring IQ has a good criteria-based pound for pound, and he sticks to it. So I think his is constructed very well as well. I would like to ask Julius that too. Would he put Manny? I think
on Julius's criteria, it's without question. Yes, Pacquiao goes number 1.
He would go number 1.
Yeah, because there is I make up for different facets that Julius doesn't have. But yeah, on Julius's list for sure. It's impossible because it's based off of champions beat.
Yeah,
I mean,
Julius, and I think here's another thing. This is a little joke for everyone. On Julius' list, Manny would go because he beat Spence and he hate PBC.
I'll also say
he gets bonus.
One thing about the Pacquiao win is, and this is on a pound for pound basis, whether criteria is not, got to factor in if he were to beat Spence, his age, his inactivity, because that'll show just how good the man is if he wins, because of how inactive he's been at his age. And he becomes a unified champion, beating a pound for pound caliber fighter. That is an achievement and a half.
Question.
Yeah.
Does it show how good he is or how poor this era is?
In testament to him.
I give it to him, but will he show how good he is or how poor this era is?
How good he is, because let's be real. At your very best in the last era, there was only one dude capable of beating him properly with no guru funny shit from judges. Like, I'm talking on points.
Not at age 42.
Hey,
not at age 40. Though that Pacquiao, I love the Thurman win and everything. That Pacquiao against those guys.
Actually, no. I would say that Pacquiao who fought Thurman. That Pacquiao who fought Thurman could still beat a lot of guys back then. Like, he would still beat the Joshua Clottey. He'd still beat the De La Hoya that he fought. He would still beat that Margarito because he's better than him.
He's Tim Bradley. See, I'm talking about these times. I don't think he beats Marquez.
Maybe not on the Marquez. As far as the Tim Bradley one goes, maybe he don't beat Bradley. But I know that Bradley has a win over him he never should have had. See,
that's true, Mark. But I'm just saying these are the top guys in this era we're talking about. So we take 42-year-old Pacquiao and the top guys, and not some of the fighters he won against, but the top guys. And no, bro. Floyd that fought Manny. It beats the hell out of that Manny that fought Keith. In my opinion, it's different. It'll be a whole different fight. Manny's timing was a little slow, man. Manny forget the shoulder injury, bro. He couldn't even get it on Floyd. I just think that I get it about the age, but again, I have my shit that I stick to, and he ain't done enough. You know what I mean? So I guess that's why these lists are, everybody's list. I can respect you and Jay, and I think that Jay numerically and the championships, and I don't have the math. And maybe I should come up with some mathematical system, but I don't really have the math attached to my pound for pound. I probably should do some points, like associate points with what my criteria is, and then probably come out a little better. But I think with the way I have it set up, even with the math, I couldn't see him passing Canelo. I just don't think he's done enough. But I get the argument about his age. I do get the argument about the fighters that he fought against, because hell, it was 2 champions and 2 well-respected champions in Thurman and Errol Spence. So I get that.
I mean, to me, this is just to me, right? And people can disagree with me, and I know that this is purely anecdotal, but I do anecdotes. Most of us do. When it comes down to Thurman and Spence, to me, that's better than anything Canelo's beaten in 3 years.
Yeah. Well,
since Golovkin.
Yeah.
I don't think the Kovalev win's better. I felt Kovalev's an older guy coming off back.
Right. You're right.
So yeah. If you beat Errol Spence and Keith Thurman, and at each of those times, consensusly they were Thurman and Spence.
Thurman, no. Spence. I'm not giving him the credit that you're giving him for Thurman. Thurman, once upon a time, Thurman. Nope.
Okay.
I give him credit, though. Don't get me wrong. I give him Manny.
Ain't you the same guy who tried to talk me out of saying that Crawford doesn't deserve credit for Ndongo, but you're saying
maximum credit. Hell yeah, this is the same.
Get your ass up. Get your ass up. Nah, you.
Exactly. This is the same guy. The same. Oh, that's priceless. Can't ask what's good. What's good? Fucking Mark don't forget anything. Pardon my French, guys. He don't forget a beat. That's good stuff. PPV Dizzle, what's good with you, brother? Yeah, man. G Funky in the building. ACP Hispanics causing panic. What's good, mi hermano? Appreciate you. Flame on. What's good, brother? What's good? Samuel Snack Sanchez Shaw in the building. What's good? Yeah, I got a pound for pound list, Flame on. I got to reconstruct it. And I've been holding off on my pound for pound list because there's too much going on, fam. Like, okay, so Manny goes and beats Spence. He's definitely going way up on my pound for pound list. I'm going to have him in the top 5 and then knock some people out. Bro, do you know, if I would have the last time I actually put a pound for pound list out there was when Mark did that thing. Now, I'm just thinking about in 2021, had I constructed a pound for pound list, bro, I would have changed like 3 or 4 times already, literally. It will change again after this weekend because fucking Jermell Charlo is fighting Castano. Should he wins, he moves up. So I'm waiting, Flame on, until the end of 2021 to construct my pound. I'm not doing it again. It's too much going on, fam. Too much.
What I do with my pound for pound list, I have a look at it every few weeks. But for the most part, I have a look at the boxing schedule and I have a look at the big events, right? The major ones, like, as well, because they're important to me, major to me, not to the mainstream, but major to me. So anything that involves people in my pound for pound list in considerable fights. So, like, when Ioka fought tonight, right? That, I was waiting to update my pound for pound list till after that. When I looked at this schedule, I saw that we had Taylor versus Ramirez, and I saw that we had Charlo versus Castano. I haven't officially updated my pound for pound list with Josh Taylor yet. I haven't, because I'm waiting for the Charlo fight.
Right.
And once that Charlo fight's over, both of them, they get upgraded. And then I'm going to have a look at the schedule again. And I'm going to see, like, yeah, there's Pacquiao and Spence. But what if another fight pops up just a couple of weeks after it, a big fight? Let's say we get a fight with, I don't know, like, let's say Lomachenko goes down to fight Valdez in October at 130. Then I have to start thinking. You know what I mean?
Right. So I mean, it's just crazy, bro. It's too much action. And then little Tink Tank. You know, as much as people want to I'm gonna start considering if Tank. Okay, so people don't like this because they want Tank to fight one of the guys. Like I said, Shakur, Oscar, Teofimo, Lomachenko, Ryan, Devin. But if Tank goes in there for me and he fights and wins against Jojo Diaz, I'm giving him credit. And Tank might scratch my top 10.
On my list, the way my structure works and everything,
right.
Tank is like number 18. A win over Jojo wouldn't put him into 10.
Yeah, see?
That's just for me.
Right. So, I mean, and we don't even have the same criteria, but I think that he scratches the top 10 if he beats JoJo. And so it's too much. It's just, for me, it's just too much going on to be constructed. Like with a numerical system added in there, I think it's easier. It's an easier adjustment for like you and Julius and anyone else who has that numerical system added in there. But for me, it's just a little more difficult. I got more to contemplate, which is why I am going to apply numbers to my criteria, bro. I think I'm going to do that because it just makes it easier. You can plug the numbers in and then you go for whatever your other criteria is. It kind of makes it easier to.
One thing I don't like about criteria though is because you're trying to factualize your opinion. And that's, And I have a pound for pound list. I don't look at the thing as gospel because I don't necessarily agree with it.
Right.
You know, it is good. It is solid. I have all the right guys, in my opinion. All the right guys. But not necessarily all in the correct place.
Right. Yeah, JD, this is because I woke up late. I had a long night last night. I woke up late. And so I said, I ain't getting dressed, so I put on my robe. This is an old nautical robe. Let's see. There's a little boat. But it matches my hat perfectly. So let me just throw on my robe this morning. A robe for y'all guys. Gabe Lopez in the building. He said, man, y'all need to stop playing. Everybody knows Demetrius Andre.
There's a fighter. I'm going to say this. If Andre does beat a Golovkin or Charlo or vice versa, if a Charlo beats an Andrade or Golovkin, they go into the top 10, in my opinion.
Oh, my gosh. That game, you know what? I'm glad Mark hit the button because I wouldn't be fussing with you about taking no damn star. I don't care about him being a star. You know what? He beats JoJo Diaz if he fights that fight. Then not only is he a star that game, but now he's a respected star. Because right now, all he is this star that Leonard LB. But he has no respect right now. If he beats JoJo, I think he'll be a respected, at least in my book, he'll be a respected star. Because I don't have much respect for what they're doing for him. But I think that it appears that he's beginning to turn it around because, okay, again, no, he's not fighting the best. But I say it appears that he's beginning to turn it around because he's not fighting poorly. Right?
I think he beats JoJo. I think he beats JoJo. I'm going to be perfectly honest, right? And this is all anecdotal because I don't have a lot to base it off of other than what I see and watching fight. The only people at like lightweight, for example, that I think I would favor to beat Tank right now are the two men who fought each other at the top of the tree, Loma and Teal. The only one to favor to beat him. I wouldn't favor Haney over him. I wouldn't favor Ryan, Fortuna, JoJo, anybody else, Nakatani, even maybe, and Deal laugh at this, maybe Comey could because he hits. He does hit. He hits really hard. Maybe Comey, but I'd favor Tank to beat Comey as well. So at lightweight, I'd favor Tank. At 140, I don't favor him over any of the top guys like Prograis, Ramirez, or Josh. Maybe Zepeda based off of how he performed against Hank Lundy. Maybe Bernanke considering how badly he got knocked out. I don't know. At 130, I think that's my favorite fight in the sport right now. Tank versus Oscar Valdez at 130 pounds for me is my favorite fight that could possibly be made. I think Tank could win, but I think Oscar Valdez, he proved me so badly wrong in the way he fought against Berchelt that he improved so much based off of his last few performances before that to what he did against Berchelt. Yeah. He was a new man.
Yeah. He didn't fool G Funky. G Funky called that fight perfectly. G Funky did.
There you go. So,
but yeah, I agree. I like that black and brown. He said D Hef. They said D Hefner.
Yeah.
OG Boogie in the building. What's good, G Boogie? Good to see you, brother. G Boogie said, damn, the Godfather D Jefferson in the Playboy Mansion, Hugh Hefner style. Yeah, this ain't no mansion. It's a little shack compared to that mansion Hugh had, but yeah, I'll take it though. PSK said, don't worry, defeat Tank to Taylor and the height will. Oh man, listen, Floyd ain't crazy, PSK. That fool ain't gonna be nowhere close to Taylor. I don't even think he'll be at the Taylor fight looking on. Hell no, I ain't gonna bother him. What about me in the building? What's good with you, Mark D? Chat, what's up with you?
Can I say something? I actually don't want to see. I don't want to see Tank versus Taylor. I actually don't want to see that fight because I think it is a mismatch. I don't think Tank had any business being up at 140. Yeah, he beat Barrios, but Barrios versus Taylor, like Barrios versus Tank, it was competitive in parts. Barrios versus Taylor is a one-sided mismatch. It is the level difference is huge when you get to Taylor and Prograis Ramirez.
All of those guys demolishes Mario Barrios. Regis Prograis, Jose Ramirez, and Josh Taylor will absolutely demolish that kid. So
in many different ways. Prograis and Taylor, they don't even need to stop him. They could 12 zip that lad. They could shut him out 12-0.
Easy.
No joke.
Easy money.
They could outbuy. Ramirez would stay on his ass and just knock him out after 7, I think. Just stay on him constantly. He'd be like what he did to Morris Hooker, lets me know. And even some of the shots he was landing on Josh, he'd mess up Barrios very good.
And Morris Hooker and Barrios have that same height, build, stature, you know what I mean? But Hooker's a much better boxer than Barrios. Much better.
Yeah. And there's another guy at 140. At 140, that'd be hard for Tank is Maurice. That'd be very hard. So there is fights out there for Tank. I'm all right with Jojo. Like Jojo would, to me, be his second best win on paper. It'd be his best win on paper, technically. But to me, it'd be his second best win. Even though I feel the man was
Pedraza is the best win.
I think Pedraza. Whilst I feel he was a little bit drained at the weight because he was there too long, and there is accounts of him puking backstage before the weigh-in.
My ass. That's what I was about to say. A little bit drained.
Yeah, look,
he was drained.
Yeah, look, I'm being nice, man. I'm being nice tonight. I'm being nice, ain't I?
I ain't being nice. That fool was drained.
Yeah, but you know full well I could go off. But I'm not. I'm not going off. That's a good win because Pedraza aged well because Pedraza went on to be a champion at lightweight, gave a very good account of himself at world level at 140, and he boxed very good in this last fight. Destroyed a prospect. Destroyed him.
Indeed. Flame On says Tank need to find a way to stay there. I don't think so, Flame On. Let me tell you something. I don't mind what Floyd and those guys are doing with him. The problem with what they're doing is in these classes, he's not fighting the better guys. But to compete in multiple weight classes like this, come on, man. If it was anybody else doing this besides Tank, and mainly it would be because of the foolery that Floyd and Ellaby are doing with Tank. But if it was anybody else doing that, bro, they would get props for it. They would get props for it, having belts in different weight classes, even if it is the regular belt. But we know that it's an agenda behind the nonsense that Floyd is doing. And we're tired of seeing Floyd put Tank in these fights. He knows he's going to win. So it's a storyline behind Tank why this is not. But I don't really mind him moving through our weight classes, maintaining titles at That's an accomplishment, bro. I don't care like if we like Tank or not. I just feel like that's an accomplishment. Carlos Mendoza, what's good? Go ahead, Mark.
They promised Prograde the Barrios fight a while ago to get him the WBA regular belt to push him into contention for a fight again with Josh Taylor. Yeah. But they gave it to Tank, right? Now, if they had done that with Prograde, Tank to get that shot, he would have had to fight Prograde. He would have that. They were never going to do that once they realized that was a possibility for Tank, because they don't want him fighting against upper echelon guys, and that's the move. They want him to like. He's not fighting terrible opponents for the most part. Like, don't get me wrong, there's been a mandatory here or there that's just ridiculous, but for the most part, and that's not his control. For the most part, guys, they're like perennial 10, 8, 9, 7, 9, 10. Yeah, some of them, they're coming up in weights, but now he's moving up in weight to fight guys as well. So when people are like, oh, all he's doing is beating bantamweights, Barrios ain't a bantamweight. Barrios is a middleweight disguised as a junior welter. That dude's big as hell. He ain't good enough. He ain't good enough. He's okay. He's okay. I understand why Ring Magazine had him in the top 10, and I understand why Transnational did. I didn't have him in the top 10 because what they do is, if you are a regular title holder, normally they rank you like 8 or 9 or 7 or something. I ain't doing that. Your fight with Batir Akhmedov was a lot more controversial than people like to make it. And secondly, just because you hold that belt don't mean jack. That belt don't mean jack.
What does that mean?
Like, let's be real. The Ring will be like, well, he has the WBA regular, and I'm like, then why isn't Trevor Bryan in your top 10 of heavyweight?
True that. Okay, we got some people that stepped in the building. We got Derek Fields. What's good with you, brother? Flame On says, I give him a prop. Many people say top 10. Not yet. If he beat JoJo, I will say Prograis doesn't get the respect considering he's only lost to 10. But he's not. Listen, Prograis, I think, gets the respect. But I think people want Prograis to have more respect than he deserves. Because when you look at, I'm a Prograis fan. But when you look at Prograis' resume, you can't overblow what he does. He did lose to Josh, which is the only guy he lost to, but he lost to Josh. And when you look at his resume outside of Josh Taylor, it's
not very strong.
It's not strong at all. So I think that some Prograis fans want him to get more respect than he actually deserves. But I think Prograis is solid. I think he gets the respect he deserves. He proves himself against the Josh Taylor fight, especially with what Josh is doing. And the fight that they had was very close and warrants a rematch. So that shows that you're at world level. But he lost. He didn't win that fight. He lost it. So Prograis gets the decent respect.
I gotta go on mute real quickly.
All right, let's go on mute. All right, Joshua Little John in the building. What's good? Champ Ross, what's good with you? What's good? Ness Mendoza and Ness Mendoza again and Ness Mendoza again. What's good with you, brother? Appreciate you. Yeah, you caught me now, man. I started late this morning, Ness, at so it's probably why. Usually at 7:30. I'm gonna call H Money after this too. H Money been on this morning's show. But look, let's move on to the next topic because we blew off enough time on Manny Pacquiao. We started talking about Tank. Before we close this out, guys, Charlo versus Castano. My final thoughts and predictions on that. And then I'll let Mark share as well. We get this fight tomorrow. Kevin in the building. What's good? What's good? He said, did Relic retire? Haven't seen him since Regis broke his lip. I'm not even sure about Kyle Relic, man. But so here it is with Jermell Charlo. Here's my thoughts on that. Kevin, what's good with you, brother? Can Brian Castano win this fight? First, I want to start here. Can Brian Castano win this fight? A lot of Jermell Charlo fans believe that Brian Castano don't have no chance to win this fight. He's too small. He ain't fought anybody like Jermell. Blah, 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 blah. All of the things you hear. Well, He is smaller. I don't agree with him not fighting anyone like Jermell, not exactly like Jermell, but Brian Castano's always fighting a taller, bigger guy. He's excellent on getting on the inside. He does tremendous work on the inside. And Charlo gets flustered when people do well with him on the inside. Those are reasons why Brian Castano could beat Jermell Charlo. If you guys go back into Jermell Charlo's career, which I'm a Jermell Charlo fan, there have been times in fights where Jermell Charlo was down on the scorecards. In my opinion, against lesser fighters than Brian Castano, he was down on the scorecard. And had he not gotten the knockout, he would have lost those fights. If they'd have judged it right, he would have lost those fights. Now we're talking to Brian Castano. And here's the thing. If he gets down on the scorecards against a Brian Castano and he cannot stop him, he could lose that fight. Brian Castano is hard to stop. He's never been stopped before. He's been hit by punches such as what Mark brought up, Michael Soro. And he ate those punches and he did not get stopped. So we cannot just assume that Jermell Charlo is going to stop him. Erislandy Lauder, which some people thought the fight was controversial and Brian Castano may have won that fight. So we cannot assume that Charlo can afford the luxury of getting down on the scorecards and finding that stoppage because it may not be there. So Brian Castano could absolutely win. He has the chin, the endurance. He has the ability to get up in the inside and cause Charlo all kind of hell, right? And pull this thing off. And which is what I love about this fight. Now, I picked Jermell Charlo, guys, to win this fight. I think Jermell Charlo is going to play Brian Castano long to mid-range, pump that jab, hit him with that straight right, work him to the body. Castano's never been stopped before. I get that. But I think Jermell Charlo is going to hit him enough times to where he'll stop him late. 10th round stoppage is what I'm picking for Jermell Charlo. Mark, what do you think about this fight, fam?
Well, in regards to can Castano beat Charlo, I would say it'd be disrespectful to say he can't. Because one, Charlo's a very good fighter, but he is not unbeatable. And he is by no means a polished fighter. He's raw in a lot of ways. He's not perfect. There are a lot of flaws in this game. Castano is a very good fighter. There is a reason he has a world title. There's a reason people believe he beat Erislandy Lara. There's a reason he got Jermell Soro. He ain't a joke. The cat is good, and there's a reason he dominated Patrick Teixeira. There is a reason. Same dude who beat Carlos Adames, right? So, can he win? Yes. And can he make the fight close? Yes. Can Charlo win? Absolutely. Both guys can. I favour Charlo on points. I think D hit the nail on the head. Charlo's going to look to have this a long mid-rangey fest, but I also think he's going to want to, when he has the opportunity, to push Castano back. He's going to want to. He's not going to want Castano constantly in control of the range, because if he is, it's going to be inside. Charlo's inside game is not the strongest, but he does have powerful punches in there with the uppercut. The uppercut, especially inside and mid-range, is a weapon. It's
That's
a weapon
what Castano has to stay away from when he does his inside work, because if he gets popped with that, it's going to be trouble, fam. It's going to be trouble.
Because Charlo gets a lot of torque on it. Not leverage, fellas, torque. He torques his whole body through that shot. And he does it very quickly, and he disguises it very well off of his lead hand. So he'll like pop, and you're like, whoa.
And he's going to be looking for it. Trust me. Let me say this real quick, Mark. No, go ahead, finish. Go ahead, finish.
All in all, I'm favoring Charlo on points. I think a stoppage is possible, and I'm going to go ahead and say I think a stoppage is possible both ways. Because if Castano hurts Charlo, and Charlo has been dropped, and he hurts him, which he can do, because he's not a small puncher. People think he's a small puncher. He's not. He's a volume guy, and he hits pretty hard. If he starts landing clean, and Charlo starts fatiguing, if Charlo does fatigue, Castano can win, and he can stop him. But I'm favouring Charlo on points, I think it's a fight that can. These are the most likely outcomes in my book. Probably, I'd go Charlo points, then Castano points, Charlo KO, draw, Castano KO.
Yeah, it's all of those combinations there. Anybody picking Castano, hey guys, I have no problem with it. And the reason I picked the late stoppage is because I do believe that Mark's prediction could be correct as well. I said this the other day that if I pick a stoppage 9 or less, then I'm pretty confident that that guy is going to stop him. Even if he stops him 11 or 12, I'm pretty confident that the guy will be stopped if I'm picking 9 or less. If I ever pick 10, 11, or 12, I do understand that the decision could actually come to play. It's one of those things where, let me tell y'all guys something. Picking fights, and since we're talking about picking fights, Fantasy Boxing Prediction League, my man Champ Ross in the building, Fantasy Boxing Prediction League on Facebook. If you have a Facebook account, go to this page, Fantasy Boxing Prediction League, hit the like, let Champ know you want to be a part of it. Right there in the bottom right corner, you see pinned post. That is where you will see the list of fights for the week. Go now, guys, because the season has just started. Shout out to Get This Smoke. He won last season, season 9 of the Fantasy Boxing Prediction League. Start now. Get in. You can win money. You don't have to pay money to get in. Smoke, I think, won $275 for winning. It's fun. It's a lot of good people in there. Barker Rivals in there. Champ Ross, of course, he runs the league. And this is how you can get in. Just go to the Facebook page, Fantasy Boxing Prediction League. Hit the like the page, send Champ a message, put your picks in. Or if you don't have Facebook, there is another alternative to get in. You just email. Dropped it in the chat right there. Champ, EZ, 22 at yahoo.com. Email Champ. Let him know you want to be in the prediction league. He'll send you the list. Put your picks in. Boom. Champ will post them. You're in there. So y'all come join the league, man. Fantasy Boxing Prediction League is outstanding. Best league around. Now, talking about these picks, as far as Jermell, I don't mind anybody picking Brian Castano, man. This guy can win because I honestly believe he can win. It's not one of these things. Oh, y'all crazy. Ain't no way like the Rosario. I wasn't giving Rosario a chance to win. None at all. I picked Jermell 8th round. Coincidentally, crazy punch to the gut or whatever. He stopped him in the 8th round. But as I said, if it's 9 or less, no, that guy's going to win. 10 or it could go to decision, split, majority, whatever. Which means I give the next guy plenty of opportunity to win that fight. And in this case, that's Brian Castano. 60-40 fight is the way I see it. I see this fight the same as Spence Pacquiao, 60-40. I see Spence 60-40. I see Charlo 60-40. And coincidentally, I'm picking both of them to stop in the 10th round. Charlo, 10th round stoppage. Spence, 10th round stoppage. Jay Kyle, what's good? Yuli in the building, what's good? He said, Banana was always getting peeled. Yes, Jay. Yes, sir. He was definitely getting peeled. But yeah, guys, that was pretty much it, man. I wanted to talk about that. We got into a little tank discussion this morning. Good morning, love.
Morning.
Just wanted to kind of talk about that. He said, G Boogie says Charlo by unanimous decision. Could definitely see that one too. I could definitely see that one too, G Boogie. Like I said, a decision is definitely a great possibility here because Charlo late stoppage. There's a chance, but then my guy Charlo could lose here. That's why I love this fight. How many times have we seen Charlo fighting for that stoppage, bro? We just see that when he got his belt back from Harrison. I had him slightly ahead on the cards. Some other people had Harrison ahead on the cards, and I didn't mind that. But it doesn't matter what I have or other fans watching. It mattered what the judges have, right? But I seen Charlo. I seen that he could be down on those cards against Tony Harrison. And we've seen it before in other fights where Charlo was down on the cards and he got the stoppage. And, you know, getting down on the cards against Brian Castano, that stoppage is not going to come easily. One thing, too, that you said, though, Mark, is, you know, if Castano, because he has excellent body work, if he could, you know, get Charlo to kind of start sucking wind, I don't know, man. I think those guys, well, at least Jermell, I think Jermell Charlo's stamina is freaking phenomenal, bro. I don't know if we'll see him wind out, but body work does change a lot of things. So, you know, that could definitely get a guy to start sucking wind. But I don't know, man. It's so great. We only got 1 day, guys. 1 day. It is here. Second 4-belt undisputed match locked in. 1 day away. 2 in 1 year. How beautiful is that? 150 Dream Team in the building. Was good. Chef says should be a great fight tomorrow. Yeah. Ness Mendoza, he says Castano late KO. Okay, Ness. Okay. Make sure you bet that, Ness, because could win a pretty penny. I can't see Spence Pac going past 7 rounds. I think Pac-Man is going to pull it up. Joshua Little John, you have been drinking too early this morning. Pacquiao is not stopping Spence before 7 rounds. Bro, are you insane right now? Are you insane? I don't mind you picking Pacquiao to win. I could even go along with a late stoppage, 11 or 12, or merely a decision. But you are talking about a 42-year-old Pacquiao, and who the hell has he stopped here recently? That's number one, Joshua. Let's think about this now. You're talking about a 42-year-old Pacquiao, and who the hell has he stopped recently? That's number one. And then you're talking about probably one of the most durable 147-pounders. Are you kidding me right now? You cannot be serious with that, Joshua. 7? Pacquiao stop Spence in 7 or less? Man, you drinking. You drinking. Put the beer down. It's too early for that shit, Joshua.
You know what I think, D? I think I've been watching this sport too long, too damn long, to put a cap on the capabilities of what Manny Pacquiao might can do. That's being honest. I'm not joking, dude.
I feel you there, but I'm capping that, bro. No way, not happening.
What if he does, though?
Nah, Spence is too durable for that. I can't. If he does this, it's just amazing. It's amazing. It's one of those things that's absolutely amazing. And I don't care what my criteria is. If that fucker stops Spence, pardon my French, if he stops Spence before 7-1, number one pound for pound, hands down, to hell with my criteria. Throw it out the window. That dude stops Spence before 7? Before 7? Nah.
Not in 7.
In 7, before 7, around 7, 8 or 9 even. No way. I see Manny winning this fight via decision. If Manny wins, now I know all of you guys with the knockout, okay, yeah, good luck. Don't bet it. Just bet Manny winning because he's underdog now. I think like 350. But stoppage, I don't see that. Now, you can't say that I'm not giving Manny his props or anything by not saying I don't see him winning by stoppage, because I can see him winning. But stopping Spence? Hell no, bro. This is a guy we ain't never seen hit the canvas. Ever. He ain't never even hit the canvas. Now Manny's going to stop him?
He did in the Amis.
Man, you know I don't count. Amateurs don't matter. Amateurs don't matter. That dude, nah, man. He's arguably one of the toughest fighters at 147, arguably. He's in that conversation, right? When we talk about chins at 147, who is it that we talk about? Manny, Danny, and Spence.
I think Spence has only been. I honestly don't really put Spence in there yet because I've only seen him in there with one puncher.
Well, I do. Because it's still boxing, and you don't have to be the biggest puncher to knock somebody down, to buzz them. We've seen guys that's not the biggest puncher, but they catch guys with those clean shots and boom, they put him down. They put him on stinky leg because I've seen Spence get caught with those shots and eat them and keep coming with those shots, the ones you don't see coming. So, man, bro, I put him there. Me personally, I put him there. You know, not like he's been facing pillow-fisted guys either. You know, they might not have been one-punch concussive punches, but it's not like he's been facing all pillow-fisted guys. And he ate shots, clear, clean, flush shots from these guys. Nah, man. Nah, Manny definitely, he gets all the respect from me from having that rock-solid chin. But D-Style, Hispanic causing panic, flooding the area. What's good with your D-Style? Boxing, everybody go check out my man D-Style if you haven't already. And OG MXBC in the building. Salute to you. Appreciate yes, sir. I'm doing really good, bro. Appreciate you asking.
Whoa. Go up one comment. Up one comment before boxer. Up one comment.
Who, JD?
Yeah.
Manny will stop Spence with a body shot.
Now hold on. Let me. I got a question. Right,
yeah,
he's talking about when's the last time you seen Pacquiao gonna stop it? Just okay, Matisse, whatever. Before that, he's not really stopping this, right? Now, JD, I have an honest question for you. When was the last time you seen Manny Pacquiao stop somebody with a body shot?
Right. That's why I said I think this is this disrespect. Look, guys, at a certain level, it's disrespect for Spence, man. Like. I don't know why. I mean, I understand y'all don't like the PBC, and I ain't up here disrespecting fighters, and I damn sure ain't gonna even put no disrespect on Manny Pacquiao, not even a little bit. But come on, man, y'all gotta cut this out. Lucas Matisse was the last guy Manny stopped, and that was the last guy he stopped. Let me see this. Since 2013. Since 2013, JD. Okay? Since 2013, Manny has one stoppage. One. And that is against Lucas Matisse. Since 2013, guys. Y'all mean to tell me he's going to stop Spence?
Who knows? Maybe he does. But the body shot thing is the most far-fetched thing to me. No, that's just to me, because I've always rated Pacquiao, and he can body punch, but he don't be stopping fools to the body that often, man.
Right.
It's a very rarity. That's a rarity when Pacquiao stops somebody to the body. It's very rare.
Remy is different, bro. It's different, and this is why it's different. We can say that about Spence. Like, when's the last time he stopped this, that, and the third? Okay, I get that. He didn't stop Porter. He didn't stop Mikey Garcia. He didn't stop Danny Garcia, right? I get it. Manny ain't really stopped nobody since 2013, fam. So, I mean, if we're going to talk stoppages here, which is more reasonable? Is it Manny Pacquiao or is it Errol Spence? The dude ain't really stopped nobody. Lucas Matisse. Come on, bro. That dude ain't in the stratosphere of a Manny Pacquiao. Manny Pacquiao is an all-time great. Lucas Matisse ain't even a damn Hall of Famer.
He was a good fighter, though.
Yeah, I don't give a damn about that. He ain't no damn Hall of Famer. He ain't even a Hall of Famer. We talking about an ATG versus a... Come on, bro. Like, this is... Stop disrespecting my... Listen. Now, I'm going to have to go to this before we leave here today. But I just want to remind y'all, it'll be no Errol Spence blasphemy on this panel or in the chat. You got that? No Errol Spence blasphemy. Y'all must have forgot.
You know, Remy makes a very good point.
What's that?
Remy makes a very... If little Marquez
stopped Pacquiao, so why can't Spence? Oh, well, hey, I'm not arguing that now. I'm saying Spence by 10th round stoppage, but it's the other way around that's getting me, bro. Can Manny win? Yes, because he can outbox Spence. Spence don't get the stoppage, and he can very well beat him by points. Honestly, beat him by points, okay? Yes. Stopping Spence? No, I don't see that. I just don't see that, bro. I only stoppage I see comes in the hands or the form of Spence stopping Manny. I don't see Manny stopping.
There is some things though, like, so when it comes to the stoppage, the only reason I think it's possible for Manny is because Spence is a straight line fighter, and you've highlighted this. That he's a straight line fighter, and he's used to jostling for foot position as a southpaw. Whereas Manny Pacquiao never ever name one fight where Pacquiao is trying to have foot position in the ring. Never, because he works off angles.
All right.
And that constant, like the up down, the side to side, and then the angles, that could cause mad problems for Spence in terms of defense. Because he all of his defense is on the straight line. It's never on an angle. So if he can't fight on an angle, like if he can't defend himself on an angle, he could get stopped. And that's the only reason I think that's possible.
Well, he can. And you know, with Spence, with Errol Spence, you know, I think people bought into what Mikey Garcia said. Spence is not great at anything. He does everything, the basics, and he just does them well. And I think people has bought into that. Okay, well, keep buying into that. This is what I say about most of my guys is I always got to defend Jermell Charlo for being able to do more than people feel like he could do. I always got to defend Spence for being able to do more than people feel like he can do. I always have to defend Teofimo Lopez for being able to do more than people believe he can do. Well, he ain't shown me this. He ain't shown me that. He ain't shown me that. Y'all ain't been looking. Not you, Mark. Them. Y'all haven't been looking, okay? Because the only thing y'all look at is the next video that's disrespecting this guy, or the next report or article that's disrespecting this guy, or what this fighter says. Y'all ain't looking at the damn fights. So I'm tired of hearing about what Spence can't do, what he won't be able to do. Well, every time y'all say that, at least up to this point, he has won. Okay? And he's going to win again.
Hey, real quick.
Yeah.
So because I was wanting to get onto what JD said. Boxer's previous comment, he said Castano beats Charlo, but a controversial win for Charlo. Castano to put pressure on Charlo and make Charlo fight off the back foot. He wants to know what your thoughts are on that. So he thinks Castano will get the win, but get controversially robbed on the cards.
Touche. I said it the other day, Boxer. Unfortunately, that is a possibility. A possibility. Unfortunately, because if that was to happen, Charlo fan or not, it would disgust me, fam. Absolutely disgust me. If Brian Castano wins, I hope they award him the win. It's not about fandom, because I'm more of a fan of boxing. And I do know that that's a dirty reality in this sport. I actually mentioned it, that it's going to be hard for Castano to win on the card, because I think that favorable judging is going to be
in Texas as well.
And they're in Texas, yes. So my thoughts is touche, fam. Well said.
Yeah, me and D spoke, not on a live stream, but me and D had a call the other day, and we were talking about lots of different things. And we started talking about this fight. And I think the longest singular talking point we had during everything was the judging. We actually talked about it for a solid hour, like straight up just the judging and everything, and different ways to go about it, and how people, even fans, even if there is no fucked up judges scorecards, to some extent fans will think there is, because of the way these two fighters will fight. You have a clean, effective puncher versus a pressure fighter with volume. So those two things going into it, yeah, it's a bit of a madness, isn't it? It's a bit of a madness.
It is. It's gonna. That's why I stop it here I want to stop it here. Even if Castano stops Jermell, fine, because if Castano gets the late stoppage on Jermell, it's fine, because he took it out of the judge's hands. And I believe that if he stops Jermell late, like some people think he will, shout out to Castano, because he did not, and he will not give them a chance to rob him, because I believe that is a good chance of that. So yeah, the stoppage is probably the key for both of these. Well, at least for Castano. Jermell, he'll have favorable judging, man. It's unfortunate, bro, but that's boxing, and it's stupid. It's stupid as hell, but let's hope that doesn't take place, man. Let's hope we get a good fight. If Jermell does win, I just hope that he wins convincingly, so that question is not there.
Do you know what is bothering me, though? Right, and this is something because and after this, I'll let you wrap up if you want to wrap up, Dave. Right?
Yeah,
I need to say, I do need to say this because this is something that does bother me. Whenever we go into a fight, when people are talking about a fighter achieving greatness, and both fighters can achieve greatness, but they're only talking about one guy achieving greatness. A lot of the time, the fighter that everybody's talking about, all the pressure's on him. And he loses. He actually does lose. And the other guy no one was talking about, they're like, whoa. And that seems to be a thing here. Everyone's like, where does Jermell go after the Castano fight in the pound for pound list? Where do we rate Jermell at the junior middleweight after the Castano fight?
Right.
What about Brian Castano? Where do we rate him? Does he go into the pound for pound list? What? Right. There's no pressure on Brian. He can literally fight. It's all on Jermell. And that's the scary thing.
And it's scary. It's really scary because we just got this scenario that Mark is talking about. We just went through it. Oscar Valdez, Miguel Bercho. We just went through it, fam.
Mauricio Lara, Josh Warrington.
Josh Warrington just went through it. So, hey, good point, Mark. All right, guys, that's it. We're 11 minutes over. What do you think about Janelle bringing Juan Guzman? Yeah, we'll talk about that later. That game. I ain't getting into that because that's about another 20 minutes. But yeah, I gotta get out of here. Mark, appreciate you always, bro. Appreciate you joining me. Hey, everybody, we're back. Speaking Mind Sports Talk is back. Y'all watch out for the notifications. Something is screwy with them. You can unsubscribe, resubscribe, and make sure you hit that bell. But we back. We building back up, guys. We gotta get back into the mojo of things and appreciate all of you guys. Speaking Mind Sports Talk family. Mark Unrivaled. Man, enjoy the fights. Enjoy the fights. Couple of fights tonight. Lourdes Juarez is fighting tonight, and Ulysses S. Jr., who I picked to win this fight by decision. I think it's going to be a good fight. So we got a couple of fights tonight. The action is tomorrow, and I'll see you guys then. Hopefully I'm not so tied up, man, this weekend. I want to do this fight. Matter of fact, bro, we got to do this fight. We got to do this fight. So y'all will see me, Jermell, Charlo, Brian Castano. Let's do it. We'll do the fight. Commentary. Mark, hopefully you got some time. You can join me, brother. If not, enjoy your sleep because I know it's going to be late. We're going to have that fight.
We'll find out on the night, won't we? We'll find out on the night if I've got the ability to be up.
No doubt. Hey, Rod, Boxio, I see you, brother. But y'all know how I always in this thing. For the love of sports, let's talk about it. Peace.